Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, put out by Benzinga and written by Ivy Grace, titled, "Can You Guess What Americans Think They Need to Retire Comfortably? Hint, the magic number just dropped from last year." The author of this article referenced a Northwest Mutual's Planning and Progress study, which revealed Americans now believe they need $1.26 million tucked away to retire in peace. That's actually down from $1.46 million last year. My friends, $1.26 million is more than many people will ever be able to save. Even if you are fortunate enough to have that amount of money set away for retirement, when you apply the 4% rule, you are only going to be drawing down $50,400 per year. On a monthly basis, that's $4,200. Add that to whatever you are receiving from Social Security, and you may be able to live comfortably. But I don't think you're going to be jet setting around the world. If you retire and you have a large mortgage payment and you have vehicle payments, well, that money may not go very far. If you are someone who has a modest home that is paid off, you have some modest vehicles that are paid off and easy to maintain, you may do just fine. A lot really has to do with your burn rate. What is your overhead like? I know people who retire and they still have a lot of debt. I think that's a terrible idea. But that's just my opinion, and what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. Now, the author of this article went on to reference a report from Vanguard, which puts the average 401k balance across all age groups at just $134,128. My friends, that is the average. I would really hate to see what the median is. The average is often thrown off by very large balances. $134,128 is not going to go very far in retirement. When applying the 4% rule, that is only $5,365 per year. That is not much. Now, I want to tell you a story. I recently stopped by an estate sale, and there were two couples there. The older couple had been in the area for a long time, and the gentleman had retired from General Motors. And he told me he had a lifetime pension. His son was also there, and his son just recently retired from General Motors, and he also has a lifetime pension. They were both talking about a lot of the new people who are now working for General Motors who no longer have a lifetime pension like they had. They were talking about how unfortunate it is for some of these younger employees. As we were talking, they told me about some of their friends that they had worked with at General Motors, and some of these folks had money set aside in an investment account. And they were talking about figures that were in the low six-figure range. And they said most of those folks had burned through that money just helping their kids. They said they are really worried about young people who no longer have a lifetime pension. These folks have a lump sum of money, and they could easily burn through that helping their children. They actually have seen it happen. And I'm not surprised to hear about this. I actually know of some people personally that have had that happen. One gentleman had a very large family. His wife passed away. He was trying to do his best to help all of his adult children, and he had 5 of them. He was constantly bleeding money until it was all gone. He had to sell his nice suburban home, move into a very small apartment, and now he is doing his best to survive just on Social Security. His lifestyle has really changed dramatically. It is really a sad thing to see. I am afraid what these two gentlemen were telling me about at the estate sale is going to be the future for a lot of those folks when they retire. Many will burn through their savings at a rapid rate, and then they will have to figure out how to survive on Social Security alone. With how expensive everything in life is getting these days, that may be a difficult thing to do. Now, on a side note, at the estate sale, they had two clocks. One clock was a very nice wooden clock that you could wind, and it had a plaque on it. And you would receive this large wooden clock if you had worked at General Motors for 25 years. And that's what the plaque said, 25-year employee. I thought to myself, wow, that's a really nice gift that they gave to the older gentleman when he hit 25 years of service at the company. The younger man, his son, was also given a clock, and his clock was on the table at the estate sale. This clock had a plastic dome, some fake brass, and it had no plaque. It did not say 25 years of service. So the son told me that's what they gave him. I thought to myself, how times have changed. At one time, employees who dedicated decades of their life to a company were at least recognized with a very nice solid wood clock that you could wind with a nice brass plaque. As time went on, they were cutting costs, and people who had 25 years of service were given this small clock with a plastic dome and no plaque. I'm afraid the clocks are really symbolic of what happened with retirement for folks at that company. At one time, they had lifetime pensions, and not anymore. Now, these new folks have to worry about funding their own retirement, at least to a certain extent. There are not many jobs here in America that provide a lifetime pension anymore. Maybe if you're a teacher or a firefighter or policeman, or you are some type of state worker, then perhaps you will receive a lifetime pension, assuming you work at the company or the organization long enough to get vested. And that's a great benefit to have. Knowing that you will receive a check for life can provide a certain degree of financial security during your retirement years, in addition to whatever you receive from Social Security. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who have no pension, no retirement savings, and they will need to figure out how to scrape by on Social Security alone, and many will have to return to work. If you ever go to a big box store, I am sure you will see some elderly people who are working there, and I'm sure some of them are not doing that job just to remain active. Some have to do that to be able to sustain themselves. Now, do you really want to be working at some big box store when you are in your mid to late 70s or your mid to late 80s? I sure wouldn't. I think that's why it is important to be very careful when you are young. Be very careful about what you spend money on. Try to be consistent with saving for retirement. Try to live beneath your means so that you can free up cash to invest. Don't have all of your eggs in one basket. Don't just have all of your money in some type of workplace retirement account. Have other investments as well. The only way that some Americans are ever going to do that is if they can control their spending. I know it's fun to go out and purchase a shiny new car, A lot of people love that new car smell and all of the fun gadgets in a new car. But wouldn't it be better to purchase a reliable used car for less so that you have more money that you can invest for your future, so that you never need to worry about working in your 70s or 80s? The same goes for vacations. Some people will drop a lot of money on vacations each year. If they had a staycation instead or traveled somewhere more local, they might be able to have extra money to set aside for retirement. I think your future self might thank you if you are more disciplined at a young age. But that's just what I think. And what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do you folks think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.